Welcome to Inspiring International School, and this is the second part of subtopic 6.3, photochemical smoke. Today, I want to tell you about photochemical smoke, about effects of photochemical smoke, and some strategies how to reduce urban air pollution. Here, I want to show you the picture from one textbook, and this is a flat, and you can see how many emissions can be produced in a small flat or a small house. And here you can see a huge diversity of these pollutants. And looking at this picture, we can think how much pollution we produce in our flats and where we live, and that our flat or apartment can be harmful for our health and harmful for environment. And let's start with effects of air pollution. They include acid rains, smoke, ozone holes, and the greenhouse effect. Also, there is a huge list of effects of air pollution and the consequences of air pollution. But we discuss today only these three effects, and all of them are interconnected. And let's discuss every effect of air pollution. Let's start with acid rains. Acid rains is precipitation with a low pH level. Acid rains contain sulfuric acid, which is formed in an atmosphere polluted with sulfur oxides as a result of burning sulfated coal, as well as nitric acid formed from nitrogen oxides. Research indicates that acid rains increases infant mortality and the risk of lung diseases, and also it may cause the oxidation of rivers and lakes, and destruction of flora and fauna, soil degradation, destruction of some art objects. The next one, smoke. Smoke and photochemical smoke, it is polluted air containing a high concentration of dust and toxic gases, and the source of which is mainly cars and industrial emissions. The third one, ozone holes and ozone. Ozone holes are a decrease in ozone content at an altitude of about 15 to 20 kilometers, mainly at the South Pole, and this ozone hole has been observed about 50 years ago. The rate of decline is about 3% per year. The most important in this process are freons from the fridges. They are CFCs, and they are ozone depleting substances from which the released chlorine attacks ozone molecules, which leads to ozone depletion. The ozone layer is a natural filter that protects living organisms from harmful ultraviolet radiation. And the last one, greenhouse effect. Actually, it is a natural process, and it happens in the atmosphere of the planet. It can cause an increase in the temperature of the planet. It is like a blanket on our planet. The effect is caused by atmospheric gases called greenhouse gases, like water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and others. And the greenhouse gases limit thermal radiation from the Earth's surface and the lower atmosphere into space. So we are like trapped on the planet, and our gases and sun rays and heat rays from the sun are trapped on the planet, between planet and the layers of the atmosphere. Here you can see a scheme of formation of photochemical smoke. We discussed it last time, and you can see here molecules of oxygen and nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and other substances, and water, and of course ultraviolet radiation and nitrogen molecules, and all these gases and all these factors they are collected in the atmosphere and ozone molecules are produced, and they produce photochemical smoke. Let's discuss sources of tropospheric ozone. Tropospheric ozone is ground level ozone, and it is a pollutant. In normal conditions, ozone can be found only in stratosphere, but sometimes when there are a lot of emissions from the surface of the planet, ozone can be collected in the troposphere. That is why we can breathe by ozone. So we cannot actually breathe by ozone, but we can inhale ozone molecules, and it can be harmful for our health. And also we can say that it is a secondary pollutant because it is formed by reactions involving oxides of nitrogen. So by industries, by factories, we can force these reactions and they can be conducted. When fossil fuels are burned, two of the pollutants emitted are hydrocarbons from unburned fuel and nitrogen. So hydrocarbons and nitrogen monoxide. Nitrogen monoxide reacts with oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide. A brown gas, it is a brown gas that contributes to urban haze, and nitrogen dioxide is a harmful gas, hazardous gas for people, for every living organism on our planet. Nitrogen dioxide can also absorb sunlight and break up to release oxygen atoms that combine with oxygen in the air to form ozone molecules. The main source of nitrogen oxides is road transport. So these are exhausts from vehicles. And today we discuss three types of strategies for reducing urban air pollution. Every time when we revise or study some topics in our program in ESS, we discuss three types of strategies to reduce something. It is the system replace, regulate, and restore. So, number one, altering human activity, producing pollution. It is what we can do before we produced this emission or something harmful for our health and something hazardous, something dangerous for nature and environment. So what we can do, we can consume less, we can burn less fossil fuel, we can act as informed consumers for purchase of energy efficient technologies. It is good if the technology is available, and here you can see some evaluation of each example of the strategy, and sometimes it can work easily, but sometimes it's really hard to do. Also, we can use public or share transit or transport. We can walk, we can go by bicycle. Sometimes it not convenient for us, and we need to choose what to do. Go by bus or go by bicycle or use our car to go to our work or something else. And the last one here, these are the list of examples of this strategy. And the first one is altering, how we can alter our activity. And the last strategy here is lobby governments to increase renewable energy use. So governmental level is one of the highest level when we can try to solve some problems. And if we have some laws, it can be easier to solve these environmental problems. It can be more easier than we try to solve this problem by ourselves. Next, number two, regulating and reducing the pollutants at the point of emission. So what we can do if there is a point of emissions, and what to do to reduce air pollution from this point. At first, again, government regulation, taxes, or maybe some penalties. If this factory or this industry produces more emissions that it is allowed. Next, catalytic converters to clean exhaust of primary pollutants from car exhaust. So it can be some filters or something else. And the last one, fuel quality may be regulated by government, but it can be difficult to enforce. It depends on the price of this fuel, and sometimes we use and the country uses more sometimes country uses cheaper fuel because it is just cheaper and it is easier to get to buy. And the last one, cleanup and restoration. It is about what we can do after emission, if emission was produced previously. So we can grow more trees. This is afforestation to increase carbon sinks and filter air. We know that during photosynthesis, plants absorb CO2 and they work as a filter for the air. But remember, this does not reduce emissions. Yes, we can grow some trees, but it doesn't mean that we produce less emissions in this place. And also we can use regreening of cities, more trees, more parks, they absorb carbon dioxide. And also we can grow some trees, some plants that can absorb more emissions. There can be some species of plants, special species of plants that absorb, that can clean air in this place, and it may help to reduce air pollution. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.